Welcome to the Explainer. If you're the kind of person who loves tearing apart complex ideas just to see how the gears work inside, well, you're exactly where you need to be. Today, we're going to deconstruct a single, incredibly dense 35-word cinematic prompt from our source material. We are going to treat this little string of words like a structural blueprint, looking at how absolutely every noun, verb, and adjective acts as a load-bearing pillar in constructing a vivid, believable reality.
Okay, let's dive into this. Read it right along with me. Continuous heroic shot of Roman soldiers raising a red banner with golden eagle, wind blowing strongly, sunlight shining behind the flag, camera slowly rotating upward, epic triumphant mood but somber undertone. In just 35 words, the author didn't just describe a pretty picture. They've engineered an entire narrative arc. We're talking physics, camera mechanics, and deep, deep psychology all packed into one sentence.
It naturally forces us to ask, how much story actually lives in a single shot? When you first read that prompt, it might just wash over you as a cool, generic, historical visual. But we are going to look way beyond that surface. Over the next few minutes, we're going to systematically peel back the layers of this specific text. We'll see exactly how the visual composition and the atmosphere team up to create this profound emotional resonance that you'd probably miss on a quick first glance.
Section 1. The core action. Physical reality.
Before we get swept up in the mood or the lighting, we have to start with the foundational subjects. Right here is our core action, Roman soldiers raising a red banner. Now really notice that active verb, raising. We aren't looking at a banner that's already happily flying high, and we aren't looking at one resting in the dirt. We're capturing the raw dynamic motion of the effort itself. And right in the center of that physical struggle is our striking visual anchor, the red banner. Red instantly demands your attention, right? It practically screams blood, passion, and conflict.
So, the crucial point is how this next tiny detail instantly elevates the entire image. With golden eagle. We aren't just looking at a plain red cloth anymore. Tacking on that golden eagle introduces this sharp metallic contrast to the soft, snapping fabric of the banner. Plus, it immediately injects immense historical weight into the scene. It transforms anonymous soldiers into the vanguard of an empire, anchoring that physical action into a very specific legacy of conquest and power.
Section 2. The atmospheric physics, environmental forces.
All right, let's shift away from the subjects and look at the invisible stuff, the environmental forces shaping the scene. The source text hands us two variables that stack up to create a living, breathing reality. Step 1, wind blowing strongly. That gives the scene instant kinetic energy. The red banner isn't hanging limp, it's actively fighting against the air. Then, step 2 drops in the dramatic lighting, sunlight shining behind the flag.
And this brilliantly illustrates a classic high-contrast cinematic trick. By placing the sun directly behind our subject, the flag, the prompt strictly dictates backlighting. This means you, the viewer, are essentially staring straight into the light source. It illuminates that translucent red fabric, making it practically glow from the inside out, while likely casting those soldiers holding it into dark, dramatic silhouettes. It's a gorgeous effect that guarantees the environment is actively amplifying the intensity of the scene.
Section 3. The cinematic mechanics. Camera directives.
Okay, so how exactly is the camera supposed to capture all this atmosphere we just built? The text gives us 3 super strict rules. First up, it's a continuous shot. That means no cuts. Actually, scratch that. It means no letting you off the hook. You're forced to stay in this moment in real time, witnessing the struggle without interruption. Second, it's a hero shot, which traditionally means placing the camera at a lower angle to make the subjects look monumental and larger than life. And third, the pacing is totally driven by a camera that is slowly rotating upward.
Let's move to and see how this builds. Slowly rotating upward. Just picture it in your head for a second. The camera starts down low, maybe focused on the muddy boots and the intense physical strain of the soldiers, right? And it slowly, deliberately tilts up, tracing the line of the flagpole, past the straining muscles, past that glowing red fabric, until it finally rests on that golden eagle gleaming against the sun. It's an escalating reveal that visually matches the emotional swell of a hard-fought victory.
Section 4. The emotional duality. Psychological reality.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the massive paradox the author drops on us right at the finish line. On side 1, we have an epic triumphant mood. I mean, of course we do. We've got the golden eagle, the strong wind, the glowing sunlight, the heroic upward camera sweep. It is literally the textbook definition of glory. But on side 2, the text slaps us with a somber undertone. There's a heavy, melancholic reality buried directly underneath all that triumph.
And honestly, the whole shebang hinges on this single, powerful pivot word. But. Epic, triumphant mood, but somber undertone. It totally flips the script. It subverts your expectation of this being just another raw, heroic shot. It's telling you that the visual victory you're looking at isn't the whole truth. That glowing red banner looks incredible, sure, but it was paid for in blood. And that continuous shot we talked about, it forces us to linger long enough to look past the shiny eagle and see the exhaustion, the loss, or the sheer devastation lingering just outside the frame.
It turns what could have been a simple wallpaper image into a really complex narrative, leaving us with one hell of a lingering question. What cost hides behind the triumph? By structuring 35 words so deliberately, stacking action, atmosphere, mechanics, and then that gut punch of a paradox, the source material guarantees we don't just see a victory, we feel the crushing weight of what it took to achieve it. Keep looking closely at the details, and thanks for hanging out with me for this explainer.